What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to a brand new video here today for Race Spec Esports, the Elite Series. Here today for round number 13, I believe this is, for the Belgium Grand Prix here today at Spa. Pretty hyped for this race, not gonna lie. Belgium, it's just a bloody fun track to drive. I've always enjoyed it. I know there was a couple of people in this series that were really hyped before this, so hopefully we can have a good race, but let's go get into quali and see how we go. Alright, here we are in the garage. Looks like we've got a dry qualifying and dry for the most part of the race, but as you saw right there is rain set to hit 20 minutes into the race, which is probably going to be about mid-race distance, which is going to make things a bit awkward in terms of what to do with strategy, because if it does hit about mid-race, then that is probably when the medium runners, if there is any, and I presume there definitely will be, would come in. So they might be able to go from medium straight to inters. But for guys like me and Pete, maybe Aaron and some other guys, Crossy for example, all trying to qualify on softs to try and qualify at the front, we will probably be pitting on like lap 6 and lap 7, and if the rain comes at like lap 10, then that's going to put us in a bit of an awkward spot, depending on what the weather does, obviously, because sometimes that weather indicator can be rather inaccurate. It can say it's going to arrive in 10 minutes, half an hour later there's still nothing. But anyway, our first run in qualifying, it wasn't too great. We made a bit of a mess of the first half of the lap, but the lap kind of got saved with some slipstream from contrast all the way through the final sector. Puts us provisionally on P1 with a low 143, so not too bad, but feels like we can definitely go a lot quicker. I think a 42 is definitely possible. Wasn't able to get down into the 42s in practice, unfortunately. But we go out for our second run now. We catch an inside curb a little bit through pool, and that's something that you don't want to do because the car will literally just spin out. It will just take off on you. But we're about 2.5 tenths up at the moment, so we're looking good to maybe squeak in to the 1 minute 42s. We almost invalidate on the exit there. That's very easy to do as well. Been a pretty decent lap. Little mistake through that right-hander though, cost us a bit of time. We're purple in the second sector though, so this looks like we may do a 142. We're looking good for the moment, as long as we can get this bus stop section right, which we are coming up to now. You got to brake as late as you're there, but don't overshoot. Hard on the brakes at the 100 metre board, down into second gear, get the car to the apex nicely, short shift up to third now, on the gas, run out of VRS, just perfect, across the line, and we do dip into the 142s for the first time of asking in this session, with a 142.942, provisionally sets us in pole position. Now at this point, I was having a bit of a dilemma because it is set to be dry again for the end of the race, so I was thinking, do I save a set of soft compound tyres for the end of the race, or do I go out again at the end of the session like I'm pretty sure everybody else is going to do and just go for a hell for leather qualifying lap, I guess, if that's what you want to say, and just try and do some kind of mad time, or do I want to play this a bit strategically and save a set of tyres for the race? So I was toing and froing from what to do, asking the guys in the chat that we were all in as well. I think there was 5 of us. We were all kind of saying the same thing. We don't know. So we were all kind of a little bit puzzled. I think everyone was, to be brutally honest. But in the end, I actually decided to retire. I felt like a high 142 was enough to at least keep me on the front row. If not, I would at least be on the second row. And I felt like that was a pretty good place to be. So we're going to retire from qualifying. And cutting on to the end now, let's have a look at the provisional results. Pete was not able to better us, but from out of nowhere, Aaron has put in a bonsai stonking qualifying lap and has been able to knock us off right at the death. So I think he was the last car to cross the line. So the Red Bull gets pole position for the Elite Series here. Unreal lap from him. We managed to maintain P2 with Pete P3. Look at the gap between the top 3 drivers though. Less than half a tenth. That's absolutely mental. So this should be a very, very close and exciting race. So let's go get into it. Alright, welcome guys to the grid. of Race Spec Esports, the Elite Series. Round 13 for the Belgium Grand Prix. Strategy, softs to mediums, but remember, there is that rain set to hit, and it is supposed to dry up again for the end of the race as well, so this could make things very, very interesting to see what people do, especially some of these soft tyre runners like Aaron and Pete. Are they going to try and maybe stretch their soft tyres out to maybe something like lap 9, lap 10, and just pray that the rain does come maybe a bit earlier than what we would expect? There are a lot of medium runners at the back as well. I think there's our AOR teammate Stuart McKenzie in the Red Bull. There's Contrast, and there's a couple of others as well on the medium tyres. So there's a couple of people which are in a pretty good position this race. So yeah, this could be very interesting with the rain period, not knowing exactly when it's going to hit, because that weather predictor can be very, very inaccurate, as I said a little bit earlier on. So we're just going to take each lap as it comes, and when the rain comes, hopefully we can make the right strategy call, and hopefully it doesn't bite us in the arse, and yeah, hopefully we can maybe score another win. So reforming back on the grid now, waiting for the last couple of guys at the back. Looks like they're all formed up now, so in a matter of moments we should be ready to go. Just waiting. Alright, looks like we're ready to go now. So here we go. Awaiting 5 red lights for the Belgium Grand Prix. And away we go. Looks like a good initial start, but then we get a burst of wheel spin. Oh, I don't know what that sounded like. I meant to say burst of wheel spin, but anyway. Round the outside in turn 1. Aaron maintains the lead. Pete tried to look up our inside, but there's nothing doing for the Mercedes. We maintain P2. Aaron maintains the lead. Up Eau Rouge for the first time. Eau Rouge Radion, whatever the hell you want to call it. Pete with a good run on us in the Mercedes. We're in the slipstream of Aaron, and we're in a bit of an awkward spot here. Now we're boxed in. Aaron defending to the inside. Now we're 3 wide now, and Pete goes around our outside. Aaron locks up a little bit low, so does Pete. We're able to just squeak back by, are we? We've got the inside line, and we get back up into P2. Aaron clips the gravel a little bit. Pete very sideways on the exit there. The very, very hectic opening 30 seconds of this Belgium Grand Prix, but looks like we've all just settled down a little bit now, so now we can breathe. So let's head on to lap 2, back up Eau Rouge again for the second time of asking in this Grand Prix. Aaron probably got a warning for exceeding track limits there, which certainly won't help him if he gets another one. Penalties can obviously play a pretty big part in league racing, but we're getting the move done. Round the outside, we were actually in a chat together, I think, so we were kind of talking to each other about maybe trying to work together and see if we can squeak away from the guys behind us. And yeah, I really was confident that I could win this race, but it was going to be very difficult unless I could break away from the slipstream train. But Aaron's sticking with us fairly well through the middle sector, but it looks like there's yellow flags. Aaron's around. Oh no, that's a real shame for the Red Bull driver. He was doing so well. That's his first pole position in league racing on this year's game as well. But anyway, getting back onto our action, Pete cutting onto lap 6 now with DRS, goes past us after the run up Eau Rouge. I wasn't too fussed, to be honest, because if I'm going to be brutally honest here, I actually kind of wanted him to go past so I could try and play a little bit of a strategy game the way I wanted to play it. So, coming on to the end of lap 6 now, we're going to go up his inside into the bus stop, little lock up on the right front, but I've decided actually to peel into the pits here, because what I thought is, if the rain doesn't come for maybe another 5-6 laps, I was going to say 4, 5, 6, whatever, one of the 3 numbers, you can take your pick, but anyway, if the rain doesn't come for maybe another 5 laps or so, then I can't see that the soft runners are going to be able to go that long. So I'm employing a bit of an undercut here, but if the rain does come in the next 2 laps or something, then this really is going to bite us in the backside really badly. Re-emerge on the track in P11, that's Miku right in front of us, Shumbo right behind us. Hopefully Miku doesn't hold us up too much here. We should have DRS on him, and we do. Rich overtake, DRS in the slipstream, and I think he actually pulls over and he basically just backs out of it there, lets us go, knows it's not worth fighting. We're, you know, we're in a completely different race compared to him. John Polainen with the fastest lap of the race. He's also, I think, right at the back in dead last. There was a bit of an accident on the first or second lap, I think, with John and Miku and a couple of others, but coming on to lap 8 now, and we've got up to the back of Danny in the Ferrari. Hopefully he doesn't make this too hard for us. DRS overtake, reach fuel mixture, and we just blast around the outside in our quite speedy little Alfa Romeo today, running 1.6 wings, working fairly well for us, not going to lie. And yeah, we're looking good at the moment. The rain is still just not falling just yet, but coming on to lap 9, unfortunately, just as we've caught up to the back of Aaron, you can see it clear as day. Rain's starting to fall around this Belgium Grand Prix circuit. All of the soft runners are still going around as well, so this strategy looks like it may actually come back and bite us in the ass big time, as the rain is starting to fall. It's not heavy enough to warrant intermediate tyres yet, and I'm kind of hoping it stays that way for another 2 laps or something at least. Cutting on to lap 10, and Pete Crichton finally peeled into the pits for a set of medium tyres, so he decided that he couldn't keep going until it was time for inters. But we've caught up to the back of what we would normally call our teammate, but we don't have to call him that this time around. Stuart McKenzie and I contrast battling for P3. That's a 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help us out at all. Stuart and Contrast now going to go side by side. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Looks like Contrast, we're going to try and make a move on these two if we can. Stuart's still trying to hang in there. We get a little bit of understeer though. I was going to try the over and under, but couldn't manage anything that time. Stuart right under the rear wing of the Ferrari, and I'm really wanting these two to sort it out, to be honest. I want to get a move on and kind of get on with proceedings here. Stuart with a fairly average run now. We've got a good run. Are we going to look to the inside now, going down into Pouon? No, I decided to back out of it. That would have been too risky. We were chatting to each other, as basically we always do whenever we're in a race together. I decided to back out of that, and we tried to go for a lunge up the inside. This was a little bit of miscommunication here, because just as I went for the dive, he actually told me that he would let me go on this back straight, I suppose, if that's what you want to call it, coming up here. So a little bit of miscommunication, and we've kind of held each other up here, which isn't too good, but yeah. Anyway, overtake, rich fuel mixture, and he doesn't put up too much of a fight. He just eases out of the throttle ever so slightly. So that's us up into P5. He will undoubtedly try and follow us onto the back of Contrast now. On to lap 11, we're trying to make a move on the Ferrari driver, but that is Spilly just up ahead, and look how quickly we're gaining on the racing point. Side by side now, Contrast, he brakes really late. We go round the outside though, up into P3. Spilly must have got a shocking run up Eau Rouge, and there's the
copy that.
There's the strategy change from Jeff on the intermediate tyres. Contrast coming back at us as well. There's 500 things happening at once in this race at the moment. I am damn near running out of breath. Contrast still trying to fight to get P3 back, but we just get the move done, and I think we've now completely got it done, and we have. Next up is Spilly, so hopefully we can try and make a move on the Racing Point driver. We're going to lunge down the inside now at the end of the second sector. We lose the rear of the car now, and we actually slide into him a little bit. I was actually chatting to him as well, so that was a little bit awkward, but I put my hand up there. That was my fault. I kind of run him out wide a little bit. I locked up, but coming to the bus stop chicane now, and we have VRT Chappelle in the Haas, who has stayed out on the soft tyres, just like several others as well. We're all coming in for a set of intermediates now, it looks like, apart from Pete Crichton, who has stayed out on the mediums. DRS is disabled, so the Mercedes driver is really not having any luck with strategy here today. We're going to come in for a set of intermediate tyres. Do we jump the Haas driver? So close, but not quite. We're right under the rear wing though, so Alfa Romeo have done a good job, and we are effectively in P2. Chappelle leads the race effectively once Pete comes in, which I'm pretty sure will be at the end of this lap, because I can't see him sticking it out on probably 6-7 laps, sticking it out on medium tyres. I just think that's a recipe for disaster. Spilly maintains provisionally what is P3. Cutting on to the end of lap 12 now, coming into the bus stop chicane. Once tyres and everything got up to temperature, I started to get into a little bit of a rhythm. We were able to get right back onto the rear of the Haas driver. We're going to go side by side on the run into turn 1 now. We're on the outside. Can we try to get this done? We lay it on the brakes and we just get it done. Just get the car to the apex. That's a beautiful move around the outside. Back up into the lead of the race here at Spa. And at this point I was honestly thinking, right, time to get the head down and try and make something happen. Cutting on to lap 15. And Chappelle was really struggling, it seemed, in the intermediate conditions. Spilly and Stuart McKenzie up into P2 and P3. Team radio.
We anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Alright, so about 5 minutes until this rain is due to end. Oh boys, stay off that inside curb. That was very, very sketchy then. Almost lost the car. Cutting on to lap 18 now, and the track has basically dried out. Nearly everyone actually pitted last lap for a set of soft tyres, apart from, I think, ourselves, Stuart McKenzie, Plevs, and maybe 1 or 2 others. But other than that, nearly half, 3/4 of the field all come in last lap for a set of slick tyres. So we're going to come in now. Hopefully we haven't lost too much time. I did feel like it was too early at the time, and there we go. DRS has been enabled. So once again, it looks like we have pulled a strategy masterstroke here, as well as Stuart McKenzie and Plebs. Stuart, unfortunately, I think has a 5-second stop-go penalty. What for, I'm not exactly sure. I can't quite remember. But we re-emerge on the track now, comfortably still in the lead of the Belgium Grand Prix. Spilly will take back P2, and I think Stuart does hold on to P3 for the moment, but Contrast is right behind him, so that'll be an interesting fight to the flag for P3. But cutting to the final lap of the race now, we set the fastest lap of the race. The track started to dry out, we started to all get more confident, and on this final lap I thought, you know what, let's just go hell for leather, try and get a fastest lap so we can get 26 points. Spilly, fastest lap of the race, 46.1, takes it off us, so we're going to try and set a fastest lap and get that extra point back. I know you're probably watching this and going, you know, what the hell for, why don't you just bring it home? But I'll have to quote Valtteri Bottas from the season opener all the way back in Australia and say, well, I want 26 points. So, yeah, there's that. But this has been a very, very interesting and definitely intense Belgium Grand Prix. Very, very tricky midpoint of the race. So easy to make a mistake in those intermediate conditions. Definitely made a few myself, not going to lie. Just a couple of pinch brakes and a couple of oversteer moments. We had 1 or 2 moments through Eau Rouge, but nothing really, really bad. But we've been able to keep this car underneath us. We've played an absolute masterstroke on strategy. And it looks like we're going to come away with another win in the Elite Series. We're purple to the middle sector as well. So it looks like we're only just going to hammer home the point of who the elite person is in this series. Coming up to the bus stop chicane now. We should set the fastest lap of the race, score 26 points and get another win in this Elite Series. Through the final chicane now. Get it to the apex nicely. Been a dominating drive from us. We pulled a master stroke on strategy. And another win in the Elite Series. Get in there. Alright, so there we have it guys, that has been Race Spec Esports, the Elite Series, here today for the Belgium Grand Prix. Really, really exciting race, very intense as well, but we were able to come out with another win, and yeah, I'm very, very happy. So that's it from me guys. If you enjoyed, remember to smash that like button, subscribe so you can stay tuned for plenty more. And until my next video, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.